African football has been rocked by FIFA's decision to sanction Bafana for fielding an ineligible player during the World Cup qualifier against Lesotho. The ruling overturned South Africa's 2-0 victory into a 3-0 defeat, dropping them to second in Group C and sparking outrage across the sporting community. It's a development that has not only embarrassed the football authorities, but also reignited scrutiny around governance in the game. The journalist who first broke the story and first raised the alarm, Robin Duke Madlala, joins us now from Durban to unpack how this happened and also, importantly, what it means for Bafana Bafana's World Cup hopes. A very good morning. Welcome to the AM Report. Thanks so much for chatting to us. Let's go back to the 25th of March when you actually put out on X that there may be a problem with South Africa's victory over Lesotho. How did you get wind of the fact that actually Teboho had accumulated 2 yellow cards that we had all long forgotten about?
Yeah, I got from my sources that, there is something brewing here. And when I went and checked that Teboho Mokoena indeed got a yellow card against Benin, I remember that came at Moses Mabhida Stadium, and then also against Zimbabwe, in Bloemfontein, where we had to come from behind in that game. Remember, Zimbabwe was giving us a hard time, and then when I look at it, I said, oh my God, we got a problem here, Because even if you remember that game when we played that match in March against Lesotho, the following match was against Benin. And to your surprise, I tell you this, Teboho Mokoena was in the starting lineup. And I had to phone SAFA and find out, hey, guys, are you aware of such things? And then someone within SAFA told me, hey, Robin, we have taken him out. He's not going to be part of the game against Benin, having played against Lesotho. So, yeah, someone dropped the ball. Now we have suffered the consequences that the 3 points have been docked and 3-0 have been rewarded to Lesotho. Now that has bumped us off the top of the table of the Group C, now being second, because Benin has more goals. Because of goal difference that Benin has ahead of us. Because remember, FIFA uses the goal difference unlike CAF. When you remember with Bafana Bafana in 2011 against Sierra Leone, where we were celebrating that we were qualified, but at the time, CAF was using a head-to-head rule. So in this case, with FIFA, they're using a goal difference. So that's why we've been bumped off, the top of the table now. So it's up to us now to win those 2 games this month.
Okay, Robin, we're going to get there, but let's just double-click back on what you said. So we played 2 back-to-back qualifiers. You saying that you phoned SAFA after the Lesotho game because you had seen that Mokoena was actually in the Benin lineup, and then they took him out of the Benin lineup because you raised the alarm.
Yes, I phoned them. I said, guys, are you aware that Teboho Mokoena played that game against Lesotho when he was not supposed to play? And then someone within SAFA said, we were not aware of that. And then I said to them, Teboho Mokoena, guys, don't make matters worse. Teboho Mokoena cannot play the game against Benin. And then I'll tell you, to your surprise, he was in the starting lineup against that game in Benin in Ivory Coast. Okay,
I'm shocked. In the FIFA ruling, it did warn the player. Some football fans are saying that the player should have been the one that actually raised the alarm. What is your take on this? Because there are people within management that are supposed to check these things.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. But, okay, let's structure this. The World Cup qualifiers were started in November 2023. And then that was the last FIFA break that we had. And then in January 2024, last year, we played the Africa Cup of Nations, right? And then March, we continued with the World Cup qualifiers, and then until June. And then if you remember, last year, September, October, November, we played Africa Cup of Nations that we qualified for down in Morocco. So my people were telling me at SAFA that they lost track of keeping the yellow card of the FIFA World Cup qualifiers. So that's why the issue of Mokoena was oversighted, because people did not keep the record. And then also, everyone, of course, is blaming the team manager, Vincent Sega, in this case, because as a team manager, he's the one who has to keep the record. I mean, we can't be asking FIFA to keep informers like you normally see with the PSL to say, hey, guys, actually a player of so-and-so is suspended. We also have to do our own job. That's the job of the team manager to keep the record. You know, people are saying, no, SAFA is the whole. Yes, of course, SAFA should have done the job better. But also, it's the job of the team manager. I mean, the legendary Bani Kujana was always on top of everything. Like I can tell you right now, Siabo Angezane is not supposed to play the game on the 10th against Zimbabwe because he's got 2 yellow cards in these FIFA World Cup qualifiers. I really wonder what's going to happen with Yuko Bruce because he's also called him in this part of the preliminary squad. You know, I really hope if he does include him, but he can't play that game on the 10th against Zimbabwe, yet most Mapeda Stadium, but he can play the game on the 14th against Rwanda at Mbombela Stadium.
Robin Duke, I mean, this isn't the first time that we see an administrative error in a qualifying campaign where SAFA is involved. I mean, what is it going to take before something significantly changes? Now we have everybody saying what an embarrassment it was, although for people within football, we have seen, unfortunately, celebrations for a draw thinking that we'd qualified and that, in fact, never happened.
Yeah, you know, if we don't qualify for this World Cup, you know, serious has to roll. It's unfortunate that government cannot get involved because the minute government get involved, then you know what's going to happen. FIFA will come and ban us. You know, we just have to hope that Lesotho, Nigeria beat Benin because now that Nigeria are back on track because they are fourth in that group with 11 points. Now we're on 14 points along with Benin, and then also Rwanda is also on 11 points. So Nigeria might have that hope that they can be one of fourth. Remember, for to qualify World Cup, only the group winners, but the fourth best team can also go to the playoffs. You know? So Nigeria, we are hoping for Nigeria that now they can beat Benin in the next month, and then maybe we get 4 points. We beat Zimbabwe that cannot qualify for the World Cup. And then maybe we also beat Benin because, we beat Rwanda because remember, Rwanda owes us a lot because remember, we lost to Rwanda away where they played us in that horrible pitch. You know, so we need to win both of our games or at least get 4 points and hope that Nigeria beat Benin because Nigeria still have a chance of of going to the playoff spot. But, you know, so that's the only hope we can have right now. But of course, I mean, imagine if we fail to qualify for this World Cup, we will miss another 6 million rand. $6 million. That money will go in handy with SAFA's coffers because you can see now every single day that there is no money at SAFA. You know, they need that money. That's why Nigeria, I was told that Nigeria are working so hard that their games against the one that are left against Lesotho not to be played in South Africa because they just want to win. They know the importance of these World Cup qualifiers because they can't miss it again. You know,
yeah.
Nigeria had the same situation when they qualified for the 2018 World Cup, where they were dogged by FIFA. But at the same time, at that time, they were already through because no one was going to bump them on top. So as I said, we just hope that we win the next 2 games and Nigeria do us a favor so we can qualify for it. 2002, guys, it's a long time. It's a long time.
Yeah, I suppose this is why it hurts football fans so much is the fact that this error certainly was no fault of the players. The players have done their duty. The coach has done their duty in terms of getting the results for South Africa. They have really been looking good. We're looking at the table as it stands at the moment. And the fact of the matter is, Robin Duke, is Benin are at the top. They also have 2 games in hand. They haven't been slouches during this qualification campaign. They too can get a full 6 points, and that means that they go straight through. So even if South Africa do end second, they would then have to go into the playoffs because Africa gets 9.5 spots. But then it's a number of games that we'd have to play. We'd have to win the mini Africa tournament and then win the playoff tournament in order to go to the World Cup. So this situation is quite scary. But it's interesting that many people are not talking about the fact that Benin actually are in pole position to qualify to get that automatic spot.
Yeah, and to make it more painful is that we beat Benin in both games. You know, we thought we have breached a gap between ourselves and them because we're on that 17 points. So, unfortunately, right now, as I said, it's not in our hands. We just have to hope for Nigeria, beat Benin, and then you win both of our games. You know, but as I said, Benin, I look at them. They're not. I mean, a good side. You know, if really Benin can qualify in that group, it will be a huge embarrassment. You know, it's not a strong squad that Benin. I mean, as I said, I watched them even during the AFCON qualifiers when they played matches here in South Africa, especially in most of my they're not a strong squad. They're not a good squad. It will be a sad embarrassment, and also for us not to qualify for this squad. I mean, having done so well like this, I mean, you look at our own football, guys. I mean, it's on the up. AFCON last year, we got a bronze medal for the first time in 24 years. Sundowns reached the Champions League final. You look at Pirates went to the semi-final. Look at Stellenbosch, we reached the semi-final of the Confed Cup. You know, our league is getting stronger. Everyone is taking a notice, and that's why we are benefiting a lot when it comes to the national team. You know, we're not like Nigeria, who were players at Fulham, we have players that, I mean, Galatasaray, you saw Osimhen scoring yesterday against Liverpool. We don't have players like that. You know, our players are playing solely, mainly in the PSL. And then for us not to be part of the World Cup, having had this grand chance, guys, I mean, you remember what happened in 2022 World Cup qualifiers. We're unfortunate that we couldn't beat Ghana, where there was that slightly push. And then Ghana was able to go through, and then they got that playoff spot, and then they qualified for the World Cup. This is our best chance. If really we don't qualify, seriously, introsubstitution has to be done, and it has to roll for some people.
Robin Duke Madlala, thanks so much for your time. Time now for us